This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to learn more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/3bg. And a huge thanks goes out to our boss-level patrons, Christopher and Patrick.
You guys, so I've got this great new idea for our intros.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You know how I'm going insane, and every week's intro gets like a little more and more meta?
Oh yeah, I've definitely noticed that.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of getting sick of it.
Exactly! See? That's my idea. So instead of me writing an intro, we just cut in a funny line from when we're recording the show.
I mean, it's all right, but what if we don't actually have a funny line during the sode?
Seriously? You don't think we'll have a single funny line in like an hour?
Look, guys, it's no big deal. If we don't have a funny line during the entire hour-long episode, we'll just use this intro instead. You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And this is Trent.
And we're sorry that the rest of the episode doesn't have any funny lines.
Dude, I love
it's going to be a real bummer, you guys.
Setting you up for disappointment right out the gate.
Spoiler.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news.
Okay, our news this week, as with all weeks, is brought to us by the one, the only Crave Cookies. This is an awesome local cookie shop here in Midvale, Utah. They have cookies, pretzels, churros, and fancy sodas. Oh my God, Trent, the blueberry muffin's out
Dude,
now?
it's out now.
Son of a
What?
bitch! And strawberry lemonade?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh my God, guys, go to cravecookies.com. You can get them on Uber Eats and DoorDash. Okay, now I have to rant about this cookie. How did you not let me know that this is out yet? Tell us about the stuffed blueberry muffin cookie, please.
Stuffed blueberry muffin. It's like a sugar cookie-ish dough with dried blueberries in it. Then it's stuffed with cheesecake filling, rolled in like a white sugar streusel, baked so it's kind of crispy on the outside, softer on the inside, kind of like the Pop-Tart was. And then it has like a vanilla sugary icing across the top of it. So it tastes kind of like a blueberry muffin cheesecake. It's delicious.
I'm dying. And then you've got the Bedrock, which I just had to have on a whim. I ordered this. Doesn't this have which is the one that has
The Bedrock's got the Cocoa Pebbles. And the Flintstone has the Fruity Pebbles.
Trent, I have to tell you, you don't say that has Cocoa Pebbles on your website, so I was very confused.
I don't really?
Yeah,
Well,
it says toffee bits, Ghirardelli milk chocolate, and cream
dude.
cheese frosting drizzle. That's like the selling point, brother.
I
need you to tell me that there's pebbles.
I put the wrong description on the cookie. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Listen, Trent
I'm here
has
to
a new
QE your
baby.
website.
Yeah.
He's
I don't have
allowed to
anyone
make
else
some
to check
mistakes.
me, so I appreciate it.
But also, there's a strawberry lemonade cookie that I didn't know you guys were doing. A chilled sugar cookie with lemonade, buttercream frosting, and a strawberry drizzle.
yeah, dude,
I like that.
it's so good. That's an Annie-vention.
Summer in a cookie. Ooh, that does
Well
sound
done.
like an Annie-vention. All right, guys. So if you're not convinced by now, you got to go to Crave and get your cookie on. Okay, so Peterson, this one is just for you. This one really is just for you.
Yes.
If you guys haven't seen the news, Sega has, based upon their success with the launch of Persona 4 Golden, has decided to emphasize Steam and console ports of their previous older titles.
Wow.
They have a massive catalog, and I know Peterson loved Persona 4 Golden so much.
Well, can I admit something? I'm still playing it. I play it while I work from home. I just play because it's so like you don't really have to pay attention, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'll just put this on, and I play for a few hours, and I mean I've left it on, and so my timestamps on it are a little long, but right now it says I'm at like 70 hours.
Oh my goodness.
80 hours.
That
80
makes me
hours,
so
but a
happy.
lot. I'd say at least 25 hours of that is me just like leaving it on doing nothing, but that's still like 40 plus hours.
Well, then this is good news. This is music to your ears.
Love it. I'm a huge Persona fan now, so all things Sega.
What I understand, PC gaming in Japan is kind of faux pas. It's just not something they really emphasize. It's associated apparently with just super nerds and people playing like pornographic PC games. It's just got like a negative connotation.
Well, dude, because like
how
console
that's different
gaming's
than here.
like commonplace. So console gaming's just like a normal thing to do, whereas here it's kind of a nerdy thing to do.
Exactly. So that's kind of the thing that I think has been driving the reasoning behind Sega not really. I mean, look at Nintendo. How many Nintendo games can you play on PC? Both Japanese companies. So it kind of makes sense, but I think that they saw the success of Persona 4 Golden and they're licking their lips like, God, this is a good idea. And they have a massive catalog. I mean, Sega's franchises, I mean, you guys all know, obviously, Sonic, but there's all sorts of like smaller ones that I think on re-releases or what are they, refreshes or whatever they when they just kind of overhaul the whole game. They've got like
Remake?
Jet Set Radio. I would love to see.
Isn't a Crazy Taxi Sega?
Crazy Taxi is Sega. Bayonetta, Altered Beast, Beyond Oasis. I
Bring
mean,
'em
there's
back,
just like
baby.
a
Bring
'em
back
back.
Altered Beast. I want to see like a
Yeah.
modern day
Shinobi.
Altered Beast.
They do
Spike
too.
Out. Virtua Fighter, Virtua Striker, like all the Virtua games, like all of these. There's just so many games in their catalog that if they did start putting them on Steam, they would sell buco bucks. They'd sell millions,
And they're
it's just
going
like,
to.
It costs them nothing. They
Yeah.
don't have to ship them. They don't have to. They have to get them stamped or put in a box or shipped across the ocean. They just have to put them on Steam and just make $1 billion friggin' dollars. So I am stoked for Sega. Some other good news in the console gaming world. Xbox Series X, this is something we knew. This is not necessarily news, but they've just reiterated that the Xbox Series X will be backwards compatible with all Xbox One controllers.
Why is
across
that a
all
big
their
deal?
games. Well, it's not that big of a deal. They already announced it a couple months ago, but it's a reminder. It's a Microsoft flex because we just learned that PlayStation 4 controllers will not be compatible with PlayStation 5 games.
Yeah.
So do you guys remember during E3 2013
No.
when they did the PlayStation 4 announcement? I'm sorry, and the Sony executives put together a very quick, brief, like kind of a jokey video that they showed at their press conference, which was entitled "How to Share PlayStation 4 Games," because DRM on the Xbox One was such a big deal that people would buy titles and never, like a physical game, and not be able to share it with their friends. And so the PlayStation 4, they were bragging about, well, yeah, you just hand your friend a copy of the game. This seems like that. This seems like just a brag.
Yeah, they're rubbing it in their face a little bit. I mean, it makes sense because PlayStation, in their defense, actually utilizes their controllers, like in the game. So it kind of makes sense. And Xbox doesn't, right? It just vibrates and that's it. But at the same time, if you've got a $100 Xbox One controller, you're going to be stoked that you can use
or
it
4
on
of
your new
them.
Xbox. Yeah, exactly.
What if you have 3 or 4 of them and they're all like, I have my Xbox 360 controllers and I hate them because they just sit there and they're always, I literally do nothing with them but dust them, and they just sit there and rot. And if being so, here's what I found kind of interesting about this announcement is that, like you said, PlayStation, it wouldn't make sense because PlayStation 4 games, many of them are designed around the controller. If you think about how Last of Us has, these sounds that are coming from the controller, and there's vibrations and all these other things that only work on the PlayStation 4 controller. So you can't. It would be weird with the PlayStation 5 controller having all these new features that you'd go back and play games with a PS4 controller and it would work. So that makes sense. But at the same time, like you said, it makes sense that you wouldn't want to spend, another $300 on new controllers. So I find myself in the weird position of not having a preference. Like, I get why both companies are doing both things. It makes sense. And I'm like, cool.
Guess I'll have to
Yeah,
buy
way to
both.
go, guys. Guess I have to buy both.
Yeah,
Like,
let's
they're
be
not-
honest. We're gonna end
This
up with
just
all of
seems-
this.
Dude, this seems to be like the growing trend in the quote unquote console wars. The console wars have become like, I wouldn't even say a cold war as much as just like, all right, you do your thing, we'll do our thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys want to do like super fancy controllers? That's dope. Ours are just the same as they were before. Cool. Like, everyone is so differentiated in the marketplace now. Like, the Switch is so distinct. The Switch does not compete with anybody. And then if you can get the PlayStation 4 and the PSVR and the fancy controller to not really be on the same level of competition as the Xbox Series X, then you've succeeded, because you don't have to fight. You don't have to fight for market share. You own your market, because at that point, PlayStation can sit on their laurels and be like, we're the hardcore gamers console with console exclusives and all these things. And then the Xbox is just this all-encompassing, like, everyone has it. It works with PC. It's the same thing you've had for 10, 15 years.
It's got a million games.
I think it's interesting. The console wars have kind of receded into this.
I love it, though. I'm super happy about it.
Yeah, it works.
The only place they're really battling at the moment seems to be over the Marvel Avengers game. Where
the
PlayStation
biggest battlefield
is
of the
winning.
war. Yeah.
They're just taking
Because
all of the
by
exclusives. They get Spider-Man. And I guess there's been other stuff. If you have it on PlayStation, you get X and Y. Dude, I don't even know. I don't know why this is their battlefield, but I guess PlayStation's really winning this one.
Yeah, and I think that's also wise. A move from Sony to try to differentiate themselves, because I don't know if you guys really made this connection. I had this pointed out to me recently, and I was like, oh, fucking shit. Sony is a big company. Sony is a huge company, and they have all these different products, and obviously they make movies and video games, and they make all sorts of products, and their market cap is $80 billion. At the same time, Microsoft's is 1.6 trillion.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like they're not on the same, they're not even remotely playing on the same field. And so if Sony decides to, or if Microsoft decides to really go toe to toe and go to war with Sony, they can win that war. They can outspend them, they can outbuy them, they can bully them in the marketplace, they can do all sorts of things. So the idea that Sony kind of differentiates their business, and you see how Xbox is integrating in like the PC OS, like across everything. Sony can't compete with that, and I think they're wise not to try.
Yeah,
So,
Xbox is taking like the Apple play. It's interesting.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see how that shakes out. These are some more records. Animal Crossing New Horizons has become Japan's second best selling game ever.
That's crazy.
Ever. And the number one most selling game ever, Pokemon Red and Green in Japan, came out 25 years ago.
Yep.
So they caught up on 25 years of sales in what, a year?
Not even
Maybe?
a year. A few months.
Less than
Not
a year.
even a year. It's been this kind of brought to my attention something, because like I'm not playing it, so it's not really on my radar. But this game is like Fortnite big. Like this game is and almost bigger than Fortnite, because it's reaching markets that normally video games would not reach. Like,
Dude,
there's
this game
so many
came
people
out
playing
in
this.
March, JD.
Good timing.
March.
That's why.
5 months ago. Oh my god! This year, you
Came
guys,
out like a year ago.
This year is like 10 years long. It's the worst fucking year
Like,
ever.
I know we joke about that, but I make this mistake all the time. I'm like, dude, it had to have been like last year sometime. Nope, March.
Oh my god, the
March.
Sonic movie came out this year, man.
Dude, it's a joke. It's like this ongoing joke that everyone makes, but it's for real. There's a lot of truth to this. This year has been long.
Yeah, so that explains a lot why a game when you sit inside and just like manage a peaceful island where no one's sick seems so much more appealing. But congrats, Animal Crossing. Way to go. That's awesome. And then Peterson, you want to take this last one?
Yeah, so Amazon, after their brilliant foray into gaming with what was that game
Twitch
called?
No. Valorant? No.
Yeah.
What
was
it? It was Valorant
game,
right?
Dude. No, Valorant is
I
oh
forgot.
gosh.
I know what you're
This
talking
is
about
bad.
now.
Yep,
this
bad
is why
game.
when you pick those stupid dumbass names like New
Crucible?
World or Crucible,
It's Crucible, right?
no one's gonna fucking remember it.
Yep. Yeah. So Amazon, after their Crucible fiasco, decided to double down. We already know they're making more games, but they're really doubled down on the gaming space because they own Twitch, which is the biggest gaming streaming service, and it's been called Twitch Prime. It was Twitch, then Twitch Prime. They're getting rid of the Twitch, and now from here on out, it's going to be called Prime Gaming. Which, for me, it's an odd rebrand because Twitch is so big, right?
Yeah.
You say Twitch, people know what you're talking about.
Rebrand for sure.
If you say Prime, I mean, they're linking it like deeper to Amazon Prime, to your Prime account. So if you have Amazon
Quit trying
Prime,
to make Prime a thing, Amazon. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I kind of put this in the notes, but freaking, there's already a few Primes out there. Optimus, okay? You can't just take it. Optimus is like, I've been Prime for how long? 30 years?
No, that's my thing.
Metroid Prime? The Prime Minister?
Prime Ministers.
That was awesome. Dude, you can't just take Prime. It's ours. So, but they're taking it. They're calling it Prime Gaming, which to me is a terrible name. I mean, I know it'll become lexicon just because it's so big.
Whatever, dude.
But
now
it's a
YouTube's
bad
gonna
name.
take over.
Look, man, like I know we're all living in a cyberpunk hellscape and we just slipped into it ass backwards because there wasn't enough neon to key us into what was going on. But the fact that all these giant megacorps are doing absolutely nothing to disguise the fact that they fucking own everything.
We just want to remind you
buy
guys that we're
stuff.
still Amazon.
Yeah, you don't need to do this. This provides next to no value to your company other than the fact that like your branding guide becomes a couple pages shorter. This doesn't do anything for you but remind all of your consumers that they don't in fact have a choice. They're stuck with your service regardless of how shitty it is, and that you lord over their lives in more ways than they can count.
Yep.
Why? Why?
Dude, they want you to know. They want you to know.
Or
and they don't want
everything
you
is
to
going to be
forget.
either called Prime or Google this
I
or
just think
G
it's weird
that
that they use
or
Prime,
Facebook this.
because
That's
Prime
it.
to me, like the moniker Prime makes me think of fast shipping still. So I'm like, is this like a game delivery service? Is this the new GameFly?
Prime Gaming. Exactly.
They're going head to head
Prime
with
Gaming?
GameFly, I guess.
Ooh, what happened to
Still
GameFly?
around. I see ads for it
It
all the
still
time.
exists.
That's sick. I like that. That makes me
Yeah,
very happy.
Prime Gaming does not say anything about like streaming or watching, and that's what makes it confusing for me. And with them putting Prime on everything, Prime Video, Prime Gaming, Prime Shipping, it's like what I don't know what all this is now. It feels like a step in the wrong direction, but again, who knows? You know, in 5 years, we're
everything feels like a step in the wrong direction. It's 2020. Any direction you step is the wrong direction.
Earth Prime.
Earth Prime.
We're on.
That's what we're going to be called.
We're on step 3 of 10 to Earth Prime.
This is in the Amazon playbook. It's in there.
Oh, kill me. All right, let's move on.
Kudos, I'm yours.
Okay, Kudos is our positivity segment. We like to give a shout out to something we love, and this week is a repeat. Peterson,
We don't care.
I don't give a shit. It's our kudos. Couple months ago, I think.
Nope.
You talked about what was it? A couple
ago?
years ago. When did you talk about The Boys?
I don't know. When did this game come out? Because that's when I watched it.
Peterson, it's not even a game, man. It's a TV show.
Like 3 years ago for sure.
Oh shit. Okay, well, whenever The Boys came out, Peterson watched it and gave it kudos. It has been on my short list ever since. I finally got around to watching it, and it's so funny because the reason I didn't watch it was because I was burned out on superhero stuff. Like I was like,
you're right. It was
I
a
gotta
year.
learn a whole new lore of superhero stuff, but nope. It was, dude. It is funky fresh. It's extremely violent.
Yes.
Has a content warning. I don't know. I watched Game of Thrones. I watched a lot of kind of gory shows, and this one just like,
okay, remind me, it up a little bit. This shouldn't be spoilery because it's in the first 5 seconds of the show, I think. Is this the show where the guy runs so fast in the first episode that he kills somebody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yes. The premise is superheroes exist. They're very popular. They're being marketed and managed like celebrities. And but they're all a-holes, right? They're all messed up. They're just normal people, kind of, but they're like super messed up in the head. And so it's The Boys, who the show's named after, are a group of disgruntled human, regular, non-superheroes who want to fight back. But of course, superheroes run the world, so it's not so easy. So Carl Urban is the main character, and JD, he does such a good job, right? He's good.
Amazing. Well, he's amazing in everything he's in.
He's great,
but he's really good in this.
Yeah,
and
he kills.
I don't know. I feel like you as you go along, you realize it's less of a superhero show and more of like a corporate espionage thriller.
Yeah,
with a superhero like tint to it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really good. It's kind of funny. Trent, did you finish it?
No, I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
So this will explain a lot. It explained a lot to me once I saw the credits. The first episode it was created by the same guy that created Supernatural.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's why it's so like over the top graphic. And I remember when I used to watch Supernatural in like high school, it was on network TV on the WB then, or the CW. And I remember multiple times being like, how is this on network TV? Like, there is some graphic shit in that show that is like way beyond the boundaries. I always was like, oh, the censors or whatever, the TV raters just weren't watching Supernatural. They're like, some dork show with vampires. Who cares? But like in reality, guys,
later,
there's a guy that falls on a bandsaw and just like bounces up and down on it while it goes through his chest like fucking the chest burster in Alien. This is like TV 14, and I'm watching it at like 8 p.m.
on like a Wednesday.
Like what the? Yeah, on a Wednesday night, and so
looking around,
I like watch The Boys
watching.
Yeah, so you get Eric Kripke, the guy that made that, and you're like, hey, bro, you want a show? He's like, yeah, on Amazon. Oh, and there's no ratings. Oh, yeah, let's do that. I bet he was over the moon, and he acts like it. Like the show is.
Like it's over the top, but like it's based off a comic book, and the comic series is the same. It's over the top, right? It's messed up. Lots of language. Carl Urban, right, is a British guy, and
loves the C word.
He uses
favorite
British
word.
Bad words pretty well. I just looking at this.
You know, the one we can't see.
I did not realize that Huey is Dennis Quaid's son.
Oh, shut up. Really? That's who it is?
Yeah, Jack Quaid.
That's
He's
awesome.
the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. Did not know that. The acting in it is great. It's a great show. Anyways, we've talked about it. If you have not watched it, you have to watch it. It's so good. I started a rewatch because JD was so excited. And I'm just as obsessed on my rewatch as I was the first time I watched it. So,
and for you bingers out there like me, season 2 comes out September 4th. So if you watch it, you really dig it. You got another season coming right out. So that's cool too. Peterson, you got one more?
Yes. So my last one is another show. It's on Netflix called The Last Dance. So you've probably seen it pop up on your Netflix like things to watch. It's a documentary. It's a little long. It's 10 episodes, and they're all like an hour long. So it's a little long,
It's
but
great, though.
It is. Have you watched it, Trent?
I've seen like the first 4 episodes, I think.
Yeah, I'm just over halfway through. It's one of those you can just like turn on an episode and like, oh, I'll watch one, and then you can watch the next one later because they tie it together, but it's not so tied together. This is about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the 90s, right? When the Chicago Bulls went from like a nothing team to getting Jordan and becoming one of the best basketball teams ever. I will say one of the things that I love about this documentary is how many people participate in the documentary itself. Of course, they're interviewing Michael Jordan the whole time, but every single player on that Bulls team is interviewed. They're talking and they're very candid. Even Michael's very candid about what was happening. They dive into some of the controversy that was happening at the time with the coach and the owners and the players, Scottie Pippen. They talk about the dream team. They have their opponents being interviewed. Barack Obama's interviewed. Like everyone is interviewed. There are some crazy like A-listers who are being just kind of giving their stance on the documentary, and it's so cool. And for me, I grew up around that time. I was a little kid collecting baseball, basketball cards when Michael Jordan was at his prime. And so watching this is so nostalgic for me. Every episode I'm smiling because I'm like, I remember this. I remember just how crazy he was, because they talk about he was the most popular person in the world. And I remember feeling that like he was Michael Jordan. He was unbeatable. He was the perfect, celebrity. And so for me, growing up around that time, this was fantastic. I'm loving it. I think it's one of the best documentaries I've watched just by how well done it is. But it's also fascinating, right? Even if you don't love basketball, you'll still watch it and be fascinated by it.
Tight. Tell us one more time what it's called.
It's called The Last Dance on Netflix.
Cool. Let's move on and listen to Peterson's excellent sound clip.
That is so dangerous.
All right, Foodio Games is one of our favorite little segments where we compare two of our favorite things with each other, video games and food. I say food, but honestly, it's mostly junk food, just like this week.
We're never like,
Jenna.
What's a good vegetable game? What game reminds you of
a carrot?
I don't know.
What's your favorite vegan game? No.
Overcooked.
So I gotta bring this up, and the reason we decided this week we're comparing video games to cereal, because the other night Jenna and I were hanging out on the couch, and it was like 9:15, and Jenna's like, I have the worst craving. I was like, just tell me, and she's like, no, because then you'll want it too, and we can't get it. She finally tells me she's like, I want Crave so bad. And I jumped on DoorDash just quietly. I was like, oh, yeah, that sucks, baby. And then I jumped on DoorDash and like pulled it up and then just showed it to her. Because you guys are home until what, 10:30?
10 on weekdays. Yeah.
10? Yeah. And she just, her eyes got so wide. And so we ordered a box. And when we saw that you guys had both a Cocoa Pebbles cookie and a Fruity Pebbles cookie.
Oh, man.
Dude, it's the Flintstone dual week.
Dude, cereal is my weak spot. Cereal is my number one favorite snack, which I've learned because I went on a low-carb diet, and I cut chips, I cut cookies, I cut candy, but I cannot cut out cereal. So cereal apparently is near and dear to my heart. So I'll go first because I just mentioned Fruity Pebbles. So Fruity Pebbles to me are like a really good game, but a short game. that's like over quickly. So a game I played recently that was like reminded me of Fruity Pebbles was Carry On, because the game was like only like 4 or 5 hours, but it was like it didn't linger, and I was really happy with it by the end. And I was like, I don't necessarily need to go back. I might go back later. And that's like Fruity Pebbles. Okay, the box is tiny, so it's like 3 bowls total, maybe. And I swear to God, of all the cereals, all the many cereals out there, I can get more Fruity Pebbles per spoonful in my mouth at a time. I can almost
stick to
choke.
each other.
I can choke myself with these fucking things. And
Dude, that's what I was going to say.
It's so good. Fruity
You
Pebbles
can't-
are so good.
You can't do like a small spoonful of it. I was just thinking that when you said it. I was like, I do the biggest freaking bite of Fruity Pebbles ever.
Yes.
While we're on the topic of Fruity Pebbles, have you ever had Rice Krispie treats made with Fruity Pebbles?
Yes, they're incredible.
Oh, dude, I had someone drop them off at my house the other day. I almost died. I probably ate a whole tray. It was so good.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with Carry On, like you saw, I played that game like nonstop for like 2 nights straight, and I was shoving it in my throat as quickly as possible. But then I was like, okay, the box is in, the game's out, so yeah. So
Dude,
that's my Fruity Pebbles.
That's a good one. I've got an obscure one.
Okay.
So
let's hear it.
I'm going to go with Count Chocula.
Oh, shoot.
And so the game's got to be kind of obscure too. It's also got to be a horror game because, Dracula. So I went with, it's an old game. Let's see if either of you know it. Hugo's House of Horrors.
I've heard of it.
What
I
is
don't
that?
know it.
It was an old DOS game. So it was like right when sprites kind of started to come into play. But it was one of those adventure games where you had to type what you wanted your character to do.
Yep.
And so you're this guy named Hugo exploring a haunted house. So it's always my like guilty pleasure game when I want to go play a really old game, kind of the same as Count Chocula. I don't eat it very often, but it's like that comforting old weird cereal.
It's like that thing. It's not the best cereal out there. It's not the best chocolate cereal, but you're gonna eat it, right? You're like, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna eat it, and I'll like it enough.
And it's only around for like
Cool,
2 months
cool.
a year, so
Right.
you can't let
and
it
you're
pass.
like, you're gonna do it. You're gonna like it enough. It'll be nostalgic for you. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I have
Here's
one
yours.
for Raisin Bran. Raisin Bran
Ooh.
for me.
Is this basic Raisin Bran or Raisin Bran Crunch?
Basic Raisin Bran.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Raisin Bran Crunch sucks.
So for me, Raisin Bran, in theory, I should like it. It's crunchy. It's got dried fruit in it. It's not super sweet. Like, it seems like I should like it, but it's got the wrong crunchy. It's got the wrong dried fruit. It's actually the worst of all the dried fruit you can put in your cereal is raisins, and there's so many of them. For me, this is and a lot of people are going to hate this. This is Fall Guys. Fall Guys
Oh my
is that
God.
brand.
You didn't even play it, Peterson.
Yes,
you
I did.
hateful son of a. Okay.
So I played Fall Guys for at least an hour, and here's the thing. In theory, I should like this game. It's a battle royale, right? Check. I love that. It's multiplayer, check. I like that. It's got a lot of repeatability. You lose, you exit, get back in quickly, you get rewards, you unlock stuff, checking all the boxes, right? But I played it for like an hour and I have no desire to play it again. This game isn't very fun. It's just goofy, and it's not even that funny goofy. I wasn't laughing like, oh, my characters are falling all over the place. This is so funny. I was just kind of annoyed. It just wasn't very fun. It's the same thing. I eat Raisin Bran once, and I'm like, no, this is not my jam. I'm not eating this anymore. That's how I feel about Fall Guys. I played it once. I know there are people out there who like it. Raisin Bran still exists after all these years.
Dude, regular
not
Raisin
for
Bran's
me.
like my favorite cereal.
Shut
That's
up.
wild.
I love
Dude.
it so much. When the raisins get like hard from sitting in the milk for too long, because they're the opposite.
That's
of
the
what cereal
worst.
does. Raisins get hard. Oh.
I hate it.
I watch a show where you guys are roommates. I have a potentially offensive one as well. Kicks. the mom's choice of cereals for whatever reason. Kicks to me is educational video games. The educational video games that you were forced to play or allowed to play on the computers at school, the school computers that like had nothing but like garbage on them, and you'd go to do word processing, typing tests, and then you could, play these educational games that kind of sucked. But you're like, hey, it's still a video game and I'm playing it in school. That's like Mass Blaster. I'm like, it's kind of cereal. And it's pretty close to cereal, but at the end of the day, I would rather eat literally any other cereal. So yeah, if it's the choice between no cereal and Kix, I will choose Kix. But if it's the choice between Kix or literally any other cereal, it's the other ones.
Kix with raisins.
Yeah, so I'm Raisin
Bran Kix.
I gotta play a video game in school, but it's
so.
Kix.
It's funny you said that because I chose Kix as one of mine too. And what's their motto, right? Kid tested, mother approved. So this is like the game your mom is okay with you playing, like that educational one. I wasn't harsh about it. This is Minecraft. They're like, well, Minecraft, right? Okay. They're building and they're being creative. I'm fine with that. They're not shooting people. I'm okay with that. It's Minecraft. I don't hate Kix, but I don't ever choose Kix. I haven't had Kix for a decade at least. And so, yeah, it's kind of that Minecraft thing. Like, I don't hate Minecraft. I own it and I never play it. I did play it at one point, liked it, but it was never my favorite. It was just okay. My mom would let me play it, though. She would let me eat Kix. It was like the sweetest cereal she would buy. So, yeah, this is kid-tested, mother-approved is Minecraft.
Yeah, that's fair. Trent, how about you, man?
I've got one that's like your first one. So I went with Cookie Crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Cookie Crisp is my cereal that, like, if I just want to feel like a glutton and I just don't care, I'll just eat a whole box of Cookie Crisp. And my game that fits that is the Burnout series. I don't know if you guys have played the Burnout games, but they have this Crash mode or Showtime mode where I've never actually played any of the Burnout games for what they're made for, but this Crash mode, basically you start at the top of a ramp and you just try to create as much destruction as you can. And you just rack up a bill for how much damage you've caused in an accident. So whenever I'm like in a bad mood, I'll eat a box of Cookie Crisp and just crash cars for like an hour. Great.
Oh my gosh.
Watching the gameplay of this, this is incredibly bingeful. There's no nutritional value here. This is just...
So I actually chose Cookie Crisp too, but completely different route. I like Cookie Crisp, but it is one of the few cereals where I cannot enjoy the knockoff version. Most cereals, they're like the off-brand, the Malto meal version in the bag, Most of them I'm fine with. Cookie Crisp knockoff version is bad. Like unedible.
What does it taste like?
It.
Describe it.
Okay, it tastes like too much maple. I don't know why. It tastes
maple.
Like that. Yes, dude. You open the bag and it smells like.
You sure
maple.
This isn't the Waffle Crisp knockoff?
100%.
I'm just picturing Peterson opening the bag and then wrinkling his nose like he smelled dog vomit.
100%.
And his wife's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, it's so mapley."
No, I'm telling you,
it's a mapley as shit.
Isn't that a cookie cereal?
It's the worst version of maple smell.
It's too mapley.
Yes, and it's chocolate chip cookies. I've made a lot of chocolate chip cookies in my life. I've never put maple in them, even once.
You're making them wrong, apparently.
I can't do it.
And that is not a complaint. I will ever hear again as long as I live that something has too much maple flavor in it.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy you a bag of this cereal. We're going to open it. Next time we're together, you're going to open it, and you're going to smell what I'm smelling, and you'd be like, oh, shoot, you're right. You're absolutely
total
right.
Maple meltdown, dude.
Why is this
maple
happening?
Meltdown?
So bad.
In the worst way. It's not okay. This is how
that thing pisses me off worse than over mapled foods.
All right, I'm sending you a bag right now. Hold on one sec. I'm going on to Prime.com.
He's going to prime it to you. Primegaming.com.
So the game I compared this to, I didn't even compare it to a game yet.
Oh, you did.
He's just still talking about the cereal.
Okay, so I can't eat the knockoff. I can't eat the knockoff of Cookie Crisp. That's why Cookie Crisp is Super Smash Bros. Have you played a knockoff Super Smash Bros. Game like Brawlhalla?
Like Brawlhalla?
Yeah, they're just not
I've just
good.
seen them.
You just play it and you're like, this is dumb. Why am I just not playing Super Smash Bros? That's this. You open up that bag, you get that whiff of maple, and you're like, no, why did I buy this? Just get Cookie Crisp. Cookie Crisp is good. Because
you couldn't afford a Switch.
I saved $1.50. I'm so mad right now. So Cookie Crisp is Super Smash Bros.
I want to talk about a cereal for the first time that I actually like.
Yeah,
and that's Apple Jacks. Right now, my hierarchy of cereals is ludicrous and not something that I would have ever seen coming. But currently at number one, my number one cereal right now is Reese's Puffs, the giant Reese's Puffs that are like the size of a shooter marble.
Really?
Well, you can't stop talking about them. So, yeah.
I never shut up about it. I can't stop thinking about them. I think about them all the fucking time.
More than like peanut butter crunch?
I'm telling you, dude, it's mine. It's the weirdest shit. I don't know what's wrong with me. So those are my number one. And then my number two is the s'mores cereal that they have. Good. It's like honey made.
Yep.
It's the guys that make the graham crackers made a cereal. And it is basically Golden Grahams mixed with Cocoa Puffs, mixed with some marshmallows. And it is divine. But then coming in at number three, which is the weirdest thing because those two are like radical cutting edge cereals, and then I've just got basic bitch Apple Jacks at number three. And this is my FTL faster than light. I started playing FTL 8 years after it came out, and I was like, guys, this game's great. It's old, everyone's moved on. There's bigger, better things out there. There's 20 different versions of FTL that you can play, but I'm still here shamelessly eating Apple Jacks, just stuffing them down my throat. Like, these are great. Oh, you guys are talking about these new cereals are weird. These are awful. It's all about Apple Jacks. So they're my new the old game I just found, and I just can't shut up about.
That's perfect.
Do you guys have any more?
I got a couple more.
Let's hear them.
Oh, we had mentioned Lucky Charms, but I kind of took a different route. It's not the Lucky Charms themselves, but those little marshmallows, those little freeze-dried cereal marshmallows. Mm-hmm. Those are battle royales because they go in everything, and everybody has tried them. We've got the s'mores.
They have a Frosted Flakes one, a Fruit Loops ones.
All of the monster
the Fruit
ones.
Loops one is so good.
Yeah, chocolate Lucky Charms, Fruity Pebbles, Frosted Flakes. I'm not kidding. Everybody has done a with marshmallows
They've
version.
even done a just marshmallow cereal.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? Every time I see one of these marshmallow cereals, I take a picture and send to my mom. It's literally her nightmare as a woman that tried to avoid us getting cavities. She always they were no-go. Like Lucky Charms were an absolute no-go. They would never cross the threshold of my mom's house. But now she sees every other cereal has marshmallows.
Yeah, I was going to say,
shaking
all
her head.
cereals have the same amount of sugar, too. So,
oh, no, it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Those marshmallows are an abomination.
Were a great sin.
So that's why they are battle royales, because there's shooter battle royales. There's the magic one we played. There's car battle royales. There's the Fall Guy version of it. There's even a Tetris battle royale. Everybody has a battle royale, just like everybody has a marshmallow version. So the marshmallows are battle royale.
Cool. Trent, do you have any more on the way out the door?
I've got one. I've actually never had a cereal that I don't like, so I don't have any bad examples.
Yeah, seriously.
I love this. I love it. Trent's gonna even do the suicide. What's it called? The version where you put them all together. You just mix all the cereals
dude, I would do that. I've done that before.
Yeah.
Mine is another classic one. So one of my top 3 cereals, I would say coming in at number 2 is just plain Life cereal. Because it's never changed. It's always just been the same kind of boring cereal, super formulaic, just like the Mario Brothers series. which I kind of honed in on Super Mario Brothers 3 as like my go-to Mario game. That's just like my comfort food game.
The classic.
So the
Always
classic.
good. Yep.
My last one, I kind of already touched on this though, is Lucky Charms. They were forbidden in my household. However,
Gave Jonathan weird dreams.
They give me weird dreams. This was the same thing as Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis. I had a Sega Genesis, but there is no way
Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis.
on God's green earth that I was ever going to have that be able to play that in my house. So finally, and I remember Trent, it was at Brad Frichty's house. It was like 3-4 years later after the game came out. I was playing this at a friend's house, and I was like, "This is it. This is what all the fuss is about." Yeah, it was just, I mean, the game wasn't super engaging or fun to me. And they're like, watch this combo. And they wouldn't do it. And I'd have to watch someone try to do the same combo like 50 times. We're like, oh, yeah, see how he ripped his head off? I was like, nailed it after 50 tries. I guess that was fun to watch. What are we doing next? And that's how it feels with Lucky Charms, dude. I don't like Lucky Charms. They are so basic. The cereal part is flavorless and bland and god awful, and the marshmallows like grate on my teeth. It's like chewing tinfoil on a filling. That's how those stupid things feel.
Dude, I could eat bags of those marshmallows. They're so good.
They just make me cringe.
I ordered them off Amazon.
Dude, the trifecta of 90s mom no-nos is Mortal Kombat, marshmallows and cereals, and The Simpsons, dude. It's like, no, 90s moms were like, these things are never going to be in my house.
I don't know. Dude, I think it's either The Simpsons or Beavis and Butthead, because sometimes The Simpsons was okay, but Beavis and Butthead was never okay.
Well, The Simpsons was like the
and what's a Beavis?
Butthead isn't. You're not even allowed to say that word. You know what? Go to your room.
You can't say
thinking about it.
I remember. I'll never forget seeing a CD at Sam Goody, a Buttholes Surfers CD, and the kind shop owners had scratched over the butt part. So
Whole Surfers, I love it.
Yeah. Okay, I think that means we're gonna move on. Peterson is gonna run this next one, but I recently just got Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, singular, just the one game. That's why it's so confusing. Anyway, I got Game Pass to play Grounded, and then realized, holy shit, there's 6,000 games on Game Pass, and I was overwhelmed. And so now I thought I asked Peterson, dude, what game should I play? And then he started telling me, and I said, no, shut up. Shut your mouth. You have to do this on the Sode. So,
okay.
If you could just pick up from the part where I rudely told you to shut your mouth.
I'm going to load up Game Pass right now so I can download these as you talk.
I got super sad after he told me to shut my stupid mouth. But after I got sad, then I started making a list. And
it didn't help.
Here's the thing. This is a JD list because a lot of the games that I would say are must plays on this, we have already played, already love, already talked about. Like Frostpunk, Hollow Knight, Dead Cells, Streets of Rogue, Slay the Spire, FTL. These are all on there, and we've talked about all of these and love all of these. So this is a JD list, right? First, I know JD loves indie games. So you have to play. If you enjoyed Carry On, you're going to like Ape Out. If you haven't heard of Ape Out,
I'm looking it up right now.
Ape Out is Carry On, but you are a gorilla. And
oh my God.
And you're escaping a lab. And so there's just these guys in the lab, and you are a enraged gorilla running through, smashing them. I mean, like slamming guys into the wall, and it's so bloody. But the coolest part about this is everything you do goes to jazz music. So you're running around, it's like, and you smash someone, and then the cymbals will smash while you're going. This game is crazy. It's very good. You feel like a gorilla. You feel like a wild animal escaping the lab. You just have to play it to understand that. But with the music and with the just the violence of your movements. It is a good game to play. So JD, and it's a small game. It's not a big game.
Oh, it's like that jungle. When you said symbols, you got to picture like Donkey Kong jungle music. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
oh
and like,
God.
but your movements impact the music. So that's Ape Out. The second,
that looks great.
It's downloading now.
Yeah, it's a great one. You got to play it. The second one, I think you will love, JD, to play with Jenna, is Moving Out. So if you haven't heard of this game, it's actually pretty new. It is. Think of it kind of. It's a co-op type of game. I would say similar-ish, maybe less stressful than Overcooked. It's by Team 17 is the publisher, so you'll like that.
Oh well, then I'm in. Yeah, I'm auto in.
And you're a moving company, and you're just moving stuff. But it's hilarious. It's hilarious in the way Fall Guys isn't, because you're throwing stuff out the window and smashing stuff on accident.
This is Overcooked with moving. This is hysterical.
You got to play it. You got to play
playing
it.
this
It's
tonight.
so
You can throw a couch out the window.
Yes, dude, it's a huge mess. It's so fun, and you got to play it with
you
Jenna.
guys have to watch this gameplay trailer. It is so funny. They're just throwing all the furniture out the window.
Yep, dude, it's insane, and it's the same
Awesome.
graphics, so it's just goofy. So that's Moving Out. You got to play that. So let's see, Ape Out and Moving Out. So
That's easy.
Yeah, going away from the out theme. The Messenger, and I think you mentioned you guys had downloaded this. This is a very clever platforming roguelike type of game. It's you've played the gameplay loop before. You're a ninja. You're fighting things on like a 2D board, and you're going through, jumping around, using the abilities you've picked up to beat the level. It's a lot of fun. I played this as a Dice of Destiny game a couple years ago. Absolutely loved it. I'd say the thing that makes this unique is it changes. So this is a tiny bit of a spoiler, but not too much. There's a time travel element, so you'll go forward in time. It starts off as like an 8-bit game. I think it's 8-bit. And then when you time travel forward, it goes up to 16-bit. And the music changes with it. So you're listening to like 8-bit type of music. And then when you go into the future, and you can go back and forth quite a bit. When you go into the future, all of a sudden the music is more like 16-bit era type of music. It's very good. It has that what is it called? When Metroidvania, where you go back and like you can go back to certain areas and do things you couldn't do before. It's a really, really fun game. I binged it. I played several hours in like a couple days. Absolutely loved it. So you got to check out The Messenger, which I think you guys were planning on. Another one that
we have that one downloaded.
Yeah, I think Jenna's gonna like that one a lot, actually, and I think
we're
you'll
definitely gonna check
appreciate
that one out.
the like art and the music. Like once you realize that it changes, I
sounds
think you'll
so
appreciate
cool.
that.
Yeah.
The other one that I think you should play, because we've been playing Grounded and absolutely enjoying it, having a really great time. You need to check out Subnautica.
Okay.
This game's been out for a long time, so I know it's probably not like high on your radar, but
that's okay.
It is a very good like open world survival exploring type of game. It does have an overarching story. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. You can do it in VR. I don't think you have a VR on your computer, a headset for your computer, but absolutely, if you can play this in VR, you need to. But either way, this is,
and it's like permanently on Game Pass, right?
I don't think the Game Pass one does VR though.
Oh, you're probably right. You're probably
notable.
right. But yeah, Subnautica, you need to check it out. You know, you build a base, you go through, you're exploring, but you are a guy who's crash landed on an alien planet that's all covered in water. And so you're essentially scuba diving and discovering all the things diving down. And there's a lot to it. I mean, it gets deep. You can figure out, you're like, oh shoot, there's this area is super deep. And you can figure out ways to get all the way down there because you need oxygen, right? You need all this stuff.
Yeah.
So very good game. Subnautica, you got to at least check it out. At least sink, 5-10 hours into it. You won't regret it at all because it is.
It's free.
If anything, it is absolutely beautiful. Let's see. A game I've been playing. So I just started playing this. It's a new release on Game Pass. I think it's a new release in general. It's called Undermine. Let's see. It came out. Yeah. Oh no, it came out. It said 2019, but it just came out on Game Pass, and so I downloaded it. Actually, I downloaded it. It looked like it was a multiplayer game, so I was like, oh shoot, I'll play this with my kids. We'll have a great time with it. I get into it. It's a single player game, but it's a single player game, and I didn't look up anything about it. I just looked at the graphics and I was like, this has my kids written all over it. And you already have Game Pass, so just download it. But this is an action-adventure roguelike, and it's like a dungeon crawler. So you are a character it's the classic gameplay loop for a roguelike. You go down into the mine, you're finding relics and gold and all these power-ups and curses, which are pretty fun. The gameplay is very fun, though, and it seems like it would get repetitive, but I'm like 3 hours in, and I'm not even a little bit bored. I love it. And because you just get better and better, and then you die, you go back up to the start, and they're like, all the people who are talking to you, they're like, oh wait, you're not that guy from before, you're a different person, because you're a completely different person. And then you just like take their spot, and you're like, well, they're like, well, he got this, so I guess you can have it too, and you just go from there. And
wait, remind me what this is called?
Undermine, because you're going down into a mine in these different levels, and it's honestly so much fun. It's one of those games.
Dude, this is so up my alley. This looks so good.
You should seriously check it out. It's just one of those games you can get in and easily start playing it. You just start playing it and you're like, oh, I get this. And then once you start unlocking stuff, you're like, oh shoot, this is awesome. And you'll get some relics will get you really far. It's very good.
Did you pitch this to me? Because it's sitting on my desktop right now. So you must have told me about this.
I don't think so. I mean, I told you about it last night.
Yeah, I think I downloaded it last night. Your recommendation was so glowing.
This is a good game. It's very fun. There is nothing revolutionary about it, but they're just doing that roguelike, dungeon crawling, RPG stuff. They're doing it very well. Very easy. It's easy to jump in. It's easy to play. And it's one of those things that keeps you. They do the roguelike well to where you're like, I got to go again. I got to try again. I know I can do better. I shouldn't have died. And then you'll just get further and further. Just don't pick up too many curses. That's my only recommendation. Because I got to a point when I was like, every time my curses were stacked in a way, every time I attacked somebody, it would hurt me. I would just take auto damage. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to die. I can't live through this. So just, don't stack your curses. But it's so fun. That's Undermine. The last game I'll tell you to play, JD, should not come as a surprise. Just play Forza Horizon 4. Just download it. Give it a play. You're going to enjoy it. For all of you, if you haven't been sold on Game Pass at all, I'm not even going to read through it. I wrote down a list of like, oh, this game's dope. Oh, this game's dope. And it's probably 50 lines long at least. So I'm not going to read through it. All I'll say is we've said it 1,000 times. We talk about it all the time because it is hands down the best deal in gaming you can possibly do. If you have an Xbox or a PC, do this. I pay $10 a month and I have access to 246 games, and it rotates, changes all the time. You'll never get bored.
It's just kind of cool to have a library like that. This is my first time getting it, even after having recommended it so many times. No, I do think I picked it up to play Force Awakens, but I just canceled it right away. I didn't plan on downloading a bunch of other games and trying them, which was stupid because I just showed Jenna the Xbox app and I was like, pick any of these you want to play. And she went through and found like 6 or 7 she was into. So I've got a list here on my desktop of like to-dos, and like it cost me $5 a month on PC to just have like infinity games and always have free games to play.
Yep.
And as someone, you guys know me, I play new games all the time. This is a cost saving. This is definitely a cost saver.
I'm telling
Could
you.
have saved $20 on Carry On already this month because I bought that on Steam. So,
dude, it's infuriating when you look at the list of games and you're like, "Ooh, I have purchased so many of these at full price or even half price," and you're like, "That's a lot of money. You could have saved yourself a lot of money with Game Pass. So just do it."
Yeah.
So those are my JD recommendations.
Dude, I am stoked. I will try those all out because they're free 99, and Ape Out and Moving Out. Those are my number 1 and number 2.
You got to do them.
That I'll be playing tonight.
So good.
So, cool. Well, that means that all we've got left is a little dice.
Dice of Destiny.
Okay, Dice of Destiny is this awesome game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. Then we roll a 6-sided dice to see how much a person can spend on that game. And then finally, we roll another dice to see who has to find a game in that genre for that price, pick it, play it, review it. Last week, Aaron was on, and he rolled a free-to-play game, which means he could play any game, just about any game in the world. So Aaron picked his game, and he called in and left us a voicemail, so we're going to play that right now.
Hey, gamers. This week for my free-to-play Dice of Destiny pick, I picked Valorant. So here's hoping that it's good. Awesome. Thanks. See ya.
And that was the world's shortest voicemail ever. Thanks, Aaron. So Aaron's playing Valorant? And we'll have Peterson's stoked for it, and we'll have a review for us either next week or the week after. He might just have a first impression rose next week that he'll call and leave another voicemail. Okay, well, that does it for us this week. To play us out, we have some music. Peterson has some music for us from Undermine, the game he's been absolutely loving. Guys, if you're not already, feel free to jump into our Discord. We're always hanging out with our fans there, talking about the show, talking about other nonsense. We recently added a PC building channel. If you guys are looking and curious about building a PC, there's lots of fun chat there. You can find a link to our Discord on our Twitter or on our Facebook. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
This is Trent signing out.
Peterson Productions. Oh, yeah.